Okay, so for fixing for this project, everything you're gonna need. Obviously, this is the oscillating sander here. This is the standing piece on there right now. But you're gonna need the tool, some of the right blades. I'm using this Bondo, so the Bondo with the cream in it. Use our Bondo spreaders for mixing. Junk piece of wood, something to mix it with. Found it a little bit easier than the using the Bondo. You're gonna be sanding everything, so have a good shop vac to sand everything, or so to pick up the sand. They recommend when you are sanding the Bondo to have a good wire brush, so that helps get out the gummy stuff out of there. You need that. Paint, primer. This one has paint and primer. Obviously a paintbrush, since you're sanding. Good protection for breathing. Eye protection because we're cutting. Paper towels, anything to clean up. I got a drop cloth here. You see me use painter's tape a lot. This is great just for covering up areas and being able to take it off quickly. Trim right here I need to fix. Can show a zoom in of it a little bit. It was not flush there, so it should be flush. So the perfect tool or opportunity to use an oscillating tool. And if you've never used one before, generally look like this. They have a quick release here where you can put blades, sanders, anything. They're battery powered. They're very loud though, so we're going to be using eye protection, everything, so you can hear. That was at one of the lowest setting. Generally they're variable speed, so you can pick whatever you want. Just about any vendor makes them. But the most important is really the selection of blades. So depending on what you're doing, here's a general wood blade. You should be able to see there where it says wood. There's different sizes, so you can do quick work. You can see the different sizes. Another wood blade. This one's very sharp. This one is a little bit thicker. This one's made more for fine cutting. So you should be able to see kind of the thickness there of the blades. Generally see with this gold, it'll say wood metal, so you can cut wood. You've got these round off pieces. This is diamond, so you can actually cut into ceramic or remove grout, and just about anything you want. They got this interesting, so you can put sanding pads on here. So you can see there's 80 grit, all the way up to 240, not just any type of selection. There's more than this. So this is a good opportunity to cut flush, so you really can't get a saw or anything in there. Could sand it off. It'd take a while, make a little bit more of a mess. So give you a zoom in here with what the problem is. You can see this is not correct here. It may not look as bad on the video, but it is a big lens there, so you're going to try to smooth that out. It actually gets worse at the bottom. So I'm going to try to smooth this all the way down and then fill it in. It's not that wide, so I'm going to use this very sharp tooth. This way, push this to release, see, and then this slides in, and then there's these teeth in here that engage it. There you go. And some of these are universal, so they're fit. Each tool has their own kind of tooth pattern. What's nice is you can actually put them at multiple angles here. So I could put it in like this if I need to get in, sideways, and you don't have a good clearance. And you want the good leverage. And I'm gonna have glasses already, and I'll be using guard here too, so I'm not breathing in everything. So if you see, the key here is to kind of, if you just push, it doesn't work very well. So if you kind of wiggle it around, then it'll help the oscillating movement. Alright, so you got a gap here we need to fix as well. You can see it's good at taking off that rough getting a rough cut instead of it taking forever with the sander. You can see it should be a little bit better here now. You got a little bit better transition here than that rough. I can take the start off with the rough sander, smooth it out, and then slowly get it better before we start working on the finish. Now I can go back with the sander. Again, I'm gonna try that. Let's try this 80 grit out. Just to same type of connection here. Slides in, holds on. It's got this hook and loop, Velcro. All right, let's try this out. Get a little bit better transition here. Let's switch off of the 80 grit. Okay, and this isn't some fine sanding we have to do. It's just a trim, so it's like I only got to jump here from 100 to 240, but that's good enough. I'll just get it smooth so that when you paint it, it's not too bad. All right, got a much better transition here now. So obviously next is cleanup. Like to have a shop vac, so it's good to have one. This one has a nice HEPA filter on it. This is the kids' room, so just trying to be a little extra careful with the cleanup here. So it's when pulling out, it's sucking in and cleaning, pulling it into the bag. You don't want it just spewing fine dust. So not really much to this. This next is just going to be prime this wood so that we can actually paint it. But actually going to fill it in first. Okay, so we're going to try something a little bit different here. You can normally fill this in with, say, wood putty. I guess caulk if you didn't want it to look very good. I don't like it because the gap's so big. So I'm going to be trying out this Bondo. If you're familiar with it, I'm sure everybody's heard about it. For auto potty, well, they make a material that's good for wood, plastic, anything else a little bit different. It's going to have an activator. So you take this, and then you take the activator, mix it together. I guess it's not epoxy, but it's a similar idea where there's an epoxy, and it sets up quickly and it's ready to go in say 15, 20 minutes, depending on the climate. So we're going to try this out. It's the first time actually using this. Which I think is going to be good because it seems to be a little bit more flexible. The first thing, obviously you don't want to get it onto the carpet here. So you're using my favorite painter's tape. It's great for everything. You can get it all the way underneath there, just in case anything gets underneath. Give a little extra room here for working. We're making a mess. No matter how hard you try, it always seems to get just a little bit farther than the space you protected. That should be good enough. Okay, so they make these special applicators for putting it on. I don't know, I think I'm going to try out just a shim, just because it's a little thick getting this stuff out, you can see, and it's not going to clean off very well. Let's try this out. It's definitely thick. Just get a little bit more than I expect to need. All right. Now you take activator cream. Here, I'm gonna mix it in. See how it goes. Okay, and this stuff you can, what's nice about it, you can see, I can feel it getting thick already. Is you can sand this very nicely. Again, it cures in 15 minutes, which is nice. You can start working now. You don't have to wait overnight or anything like wood putty. You can still see. This stuff is very strong, the odor, so I have the door or window open just to get some good ventilation here. You should get it. Just start putting it in. They recommend if you go over 1/2 an inch, which I'm not going to do it in multiple applications. Just trying to get into the gaps as much as possible before I start, and trying to obviously level it off a little bit. Don't want to get above the edge so that when you go back and sand it, you can sand it down flush. Feather it out here so I have plenty of material to work with when we go back to. So I think this might be a good time to start using the tool you can get and use that to feather it out. So you can get a nice, that looks great. So with this you can get a nice, even almost similar to using drywall where you're trying to feather it out, so it's not just one narrow area here. I mean, it's a baseboard, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, nobody's going to be, well, if they are looking at it, then they're going to find all kinds of imperfections here, but it's good enough for what we need. This way, get out the smoother, so it's pretty good. Where the nails were put in here, so let's try and experiment, see how it goes right here too. If it looks good, I'll be going back and filling in a lot of these nail holes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, so feels pretty set up. I don't feel any smooth. It's nice. It's a good idea to feather it across like this so that you can sand it, and then you're not sanding down to the wood, and just leaving a thin strip there. Just give it almost like drywall, where you want a nice feathered area so that it has so it's not going to crack or be less likely. It feels pretty set up. I'm going to actually use it. I'm going to do it by hand here just to see how it goes first. They recommend using 80 grit, so I still have my 80 grit here from the Oscillator. Might as well just use it. It's working pretty good. One thing they recommend is to have a steel brush and just kind of, if it gets all gummy in here, just to kind of try to clean it up. So at this point, they mentioned I recommend having a drop cloth down here, so we're going to be painting and sanding and everything, so might as well. Let me switch over here to the higher grit and just see if we can. I think it's in good shape now. A little bit too powerful. Now they get all sanded down, we can prime it and paint it. Actually have one of the higher quality paints here that has a primer built into it. So I'm just gonna run a coat over there. We always shake it up. Actually, shake it up before this. And let's paint it. That's nice with this setting up so quickly. You can see just in a little bit of time, And I'm going to cheat here a little bit because I'm impatient. Don't get too close to the air gun, or you'll start blistering the paint. So really, you can just the best idea is just to wait. Make sure obviously that it's all dry first before you start pulling this off. Make sure it's all dry, or else it's can still the pile could come up and touch what's not wet. So obviously, so there it is. Looks good.